y'all? This is John and Mike. Whoa, what's going on with my audio? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can hear you.
Huh. I'm trying to figure out if my mic's on. Oh, it is. All right. What's up, y'all? This is John and Mike back for another episode of the Nothing Finer podcast. We are once again live on Millions. And before I get any further into the show, we've got a huge guest coming up. We are recording this Thursday this week. I've got some stuff going on this weekend, but we are recording, going live Thursday at 8 this week. Huge guest. Probably, I think it's fairly easy to argue that this is, if not the biggest, top two or three biggest guests that we'll have had on the show this far. Um, no shade to anyone that we've talked to before, but
And we've had some pretty big people. Like, let's not
yes,
sell ourselves short. We
yeah,
do really have.
yeah. No, we're really excited. This is something that I know. I think we've talked about it on the show before, but we've also spent a lot of time behind the scenes trying to get something like this going, and it's finally happening. So we're really excited. Um, but while I'm talking about us, and not sports, go check out our merch. I know I've been saying we've got a new shirt coming for what seems like forever now, but it's working slowly, but it is working. I promise we're getting something going. They announced the finalists for Connect Savannah, Best of Savannah 2024 today. We made the finalists in everything we were in. Thanks to you guys for nominating us every single day. And starting tomorrow on the 6th is when you can vote for the winner. So if you could please continue to help us out there, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Podcast, Instagram, Twitter. I even nominated myself for best sports anchor. I made it. I'm a fucking finalist for that as well. I don't even anchor anything. Shout out
I,
me.
you anchor the show
I
because you're the anchor and I'm the hot air balloon. Like I'll go way, way off. I'll be 3 states away in the damn atmosphere somewhere, and you're like, nope, let's bring it back to here.
you're saying you're one of those like Chinese spy balloons? Is that what you're?
Yes, I am this
Okay.
podcast Chinese spy balloon, 100%.
Hell yeah.
But tonight, today, whenever you're listening to this, we are talking about our preseason top 10 because it's never too early. I mean, some people put it out literally the day after the national championship. That's not us. We're not that organized. We're also going to talk a little bit about Senior Bowl, basketball, baseball. We're going to get some hockey stuff going because it is getting that time of year where tournaments are starting. Um, I would love to be able to talk Kelsey into going down to Tampa for the College Hockey South tournament, but I doubt that'll
Yeah.
happen because we are going to New Orleans in like 2 weeks. So probably not going to Tampa right after that for a hockey tournament.
It's fair.
Um, but before we get into all of that, how was your week and what are you drinking?
I'm just trying to down some water. After football season, trying to come down from the seemingly just blackoutness of every weekend. I know Super Bowl is this Sunday. I'll watch it, but I won't enjoy it. Because
Will
I'm still
anyone enjoy this year's Super Bowl?
no, I'm hurting. I'm still hurting. But as far as the week goes, finishing up, baseball trials and all that. Gonna, tell the kids who made it, who didn't. Um, we have a few kids that can bat, so that's cool. Um,
Moneyball, baby. Just
um,
get on base.
what was that? Right, there's that. That was my whole thought process behind it. What was that movie with Keanu Reeves where he was like got sentenced to like community service where he coached the like that team in Brooklyn or whatever. You remember that one?
I don't, but I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, that was a good one. I can't remember what it was called, but um
Hardball.
Hardball, there we go. Classic. I do like that movie. But yeah, but I'm still sick. I still can't hear anything. So they gave me some different antibiotics and whatnot. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna get tubes in my ears like I'm a baby. So
Hey,
there
dude,
we
if
go.
it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Words to
True.
live by.
The physician assistant that I saw today, he dropped so many four-letter words. I'm like, this is my dude.
Yeah.
right here. He said shit
Wait.
like 4 times.
Oh, I was about to ask, just small words or cuss words?
No, I cuss words, cuss words.
There you go.
If you say more than one syllable, I take it as disrespect.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, first off, public school. Second, I teach at public school. We need you to bring that syllable count way down.
Yeah, like you said, 4 or 5 syllables. Excuse me? No. But how about you? How's it going?
Good, man. We had that big tournament that I've been talking about this weekend. If you were anywhere near the coast, you know about the wind that we had this weekend. Sunday, trying to throw a disc that was 170-ish grams into a 40 mile an hour wind like we had on Fort Pulaski didn't go real well. Um, like there were some people that are classified as professional disc golf players that didn't do very well.
Hmm.
Like so I'm getting a little bit into the weeds here, but there's a rating system in disc golf. Finishing even par this weekend puts you at almost a professional level rating with how difficult it was with the weather.
Yeah.
Like that's it was tough. It was tough, but it was a lot of fun. Back River Brewery over on Tybee actually donated a keg for us.
Ooh, how is that place, by the way? I've been meaning to go.
Um, Upstairs is small. I haven't had food, honestly. I've just gone and drank, and then, you know, they donated a keg to us. I drank quite a bit of that this
Oh yeah.
weekend. One of the guys that I play disc golf with over on Tybee makes his own mead.
Okay.
So he had some carbonated lemon ginger mead that he brought and shared with us, and that was good as hell.
Hell yeah. There we go.
But aside from freezing half to death and losing, 12 fingers this weekend, it's fun. It was a ton of fun.
Hmm.
National Parks wants us to do another tournament or organized event in the fall to show the Department of the Interiors that they can sustain a permanent disc golf course out there. So it's possible that we go from first ever disc golf tournament on National Park to first ever permanent disc golf course on National Park in about a year.
That would
Um,
be dope. That's huge. Yeah.
yeah. Also, the parks told us, and I don't know the truth about this. They told us that Fort Pulaski hosted the first ever organized baseball game during the Civil War.
Hmm. Okay.
Allegedly, and allegedly, it was prisoners that were staying at the fort versus soldiers that were staying at the fort.
Is the longest yard.
I, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that's a connection I didn't make.
Yeah.
And then the first ever disc golf tournament on national parks was also on the same piece of property. So, not saying disc golf's ever getting as big as baseball, but in the grand scheme of their respective sports, two pretty big events, on one like 3 square mile island. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. That's wild.
But I'm drinking a little bit of Old Elk today because I had a hell of a day at work. So I
Hmm.
went from not planning on drinking to now I'm drinking.
You don't need to convince me very much.
Should I? Probably not. But my day at work was so long, I drank a Red Bull at 6 o'clock tonight, just to be able
Or
to record with you today. So, sleeping
you do it for
medicine.
the people. Do it for the people.
And I do actually, I buried the lead a little bit here. I do want to apologize for having to record late again. This time it was neither of our fault. We can blame it on Mother Nature. We literally sat down to record last night. And right after I emailed Mike the link to get on, I lost power for about 10 minutes and couldn't, you know. So, and with the storm going on outside, I just didn't want to record part of an episode and lose power and all that kind of stuff. So, we are recording tonight. It's drizzling a little bit, but we're not having hellacious winds and thunder and lightning outside. So, we're going to get through this thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into preseason top 10. And a lot of ours is the same, so we won't. reiterate too much, but Mike's going to go first, then I'm going to go, and then we're going to kind of have a little friendly discussion on the differences. So if
So
you want to go
do you
ahead.
do you want so are you saying that you want to go like I go my 10, you go your 10, like and then my ninth and your ninth, or you want me to
No,
just knock out?
yeah, you do your whole 10,
Okay.
and then I'll do my whole 10, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. All right, so I'll start at 10. So 10 is Notre Dame. Honestly, it's just because I love Riley Leonard. There's not really any other rhyme or reason to it. And we'll get to it. There's obvious like line of demarcation with top 10 teams, or like the most talented teams in the country. So it'll be pretty obvious when we get to that. Nine, I have Michigan. The defense is still going to be elite, but they do need to replace JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum, Roman Wilson, a lot of their key offensive pieces. But again, a lot of the defense is still going to be there. A lot of that's still intact. So no, they have the work cut out for them. They have some pretty good quarterback recruits coming in there and everything. But again, inexperienced, so we'll see. Eight, I have Arizona. Noah Fafita returns, and same thing with most of the offense. The only thing that's really different with them is Jed Fish left, which again we talked about it before. That I don't know how big of a loss that is. He changes jobs every year and a half, so it was bound to happen.
I think he took a huge L going to Washington and the entire Washington roster dipping out.
Hmm. And then nobody from Arizona following him.
Yeah,
What the damn.
yeah, that was kind of a wild turn of events because all season, every time you watched an Arizona game, it was, oh, like Jed Fish brought all these guys in that played together in high school, and they're really excited. They're playing for him and they're playing for each other, and then he leaves, and it's like, oh, maybe they were just playing for each other.
Turns out. So seven, I got Mizzou. Brady Cook and Luther Burden are back. Somehow, again, Brady Cook has another year of eligibility. I thought all year I was thinking it was a senior year, but it turns out 2024 is going to be a senior year, probably. I don't know. Maybe you'll find another year in there somewhere. But uh, Mizzou at seven with Brady Cook and Luther Burden. They still have a lot. They have to fix a lot on or find a lot of pieces on defense, and then Corey Schrader's not there, so that kind of stinks for them. But they've been recruiting really well as well, so we'll see. All right, so this is kind of where the really like the cutoff is for me. Six, I have Florida State. FSU brought in a ton of portal guys from Alabama to build that culture that Mike Norvell clearly was not able to build himself in Tallahassee. Just look at the Orange Bowl. But I do think FSU will start off hot because there's a clear drop off with the competition that they play for the most part. Five, I have Oregon. Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore brought in to replace Bo Nix. So one of them would be, I would assume it would be Dylan Gabriel, and Dante Moore will, former UCLA quarterback, former Detroit MLK quarterback. Um, will take his time, learn the system, then be the guy in Oregon next year. But the Ducks, as far as like the transfer portal, like, and you'll kind of see a, uh, a pattern with how I thought of stuff is a lot of these teams that I ranked super high hit the portal hard for the most part and did really well with it. But they brought in Evan Stewart from A&M, huge target for them that they desperately needed. Jamari Caldwell from Houston, a big interior defensive lineman. At first, I thought he was like Jordan Davis size, but it turns out he's like 6'1", but he's like hella wide. Um, he
Might
was
be
pretty
more
good.
than 6'1" wide, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, he's a chode. Um, maybe I don't know.
We're talking about stature, not something else. Get your brains out of the gutter
Yeah,
here.
come on, Jesus. Um, but Dan Lanning brings back a lot of production to a team that should be favored to win the Big Ten. I think we'll definitely agree on that. Four, I debated between 4 and 3 here. I ended up going with Ole Miss at number 4, and I feel bad doing it. But Jackson Dart, Juice Wells, Ulysses Bentley, Walter Nolan from A&M, Logan Diggs from LSU, Princely, whatever the hell, however you say his last name from
Man,
Flo,
I hoped you were gonna say it because I have no clue.
Umen, so
We'll figure it out. We will
well,
because
if he's any good, we will learn it.
I look. I learned Nico's last name before he was even played college, so we'll figure it out.
I still can't say DJ Uyunglele.
Uyunglele.
Uyunglele. I can't do it. I
Close.
can't
You
do it.
got close. That was real close.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, the princely guy from Florida. Not to mention that last season was arguably their greatest season at Ole Miss since 1960 after beating the hell out of Penn State in the Peach Bowl, and they won big money, so that was cool. Florida three again pains me to say. I do have Ohio State there. Um, but they better be this high considering how much they've spent in the transfer portal. Again, I don't probably believe the rumors that they spent $13 million. That seems excessive for the amount of people they brought in, but obviously they spent quite a bit. Uh, Caleb Downs from Bama, Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss, the center that can snap the ball against Michigan in the Rose Bowl that they'll probably move to guard. Will Howard and Justin Sand, I think it's Justin Sand, former Bama commit.
Julian saying.
Julian Sand, not Justin Sand. I don't know. I'm thinking like Dragon Ball Z or whatever. It's the Super Saiyan. But Will Howard and Sand they're gonna battle it out there, and then they bring back Emeka Ibuka, Travion Henderson, and again if they falter, best believe Ryan Day is going to throw Bill O'Brien under the bus faster than Lou Holtz and say suffer and succotash. In my opinion. All right, and then finally, I think again we agree with these top two here. Texas, number two, Quinn Ewers is returning with and they add Isaiah Bond from Bama. Again, they'll exits of all those guys that had any talent whatsoever, not talent, but played well at all in that offense last year are gone. They added Isaiah Bond, which somehow hasn't been talked about a ton, and then Sark is obviously the best, or arguably, and I would say he is the best offensive coach in terms of scheming and just getting guys in the right position in the country as far as an offensive head coach because Lincoln Riley couldn't do that last year. And then finally, number one, Georgia. Obviously, this is a Georgia pod. We're going to go that way. But even if we weren't, they're still number one. A ton of returning production and the portal additions that they had on offense clearly already bolster an already elite offense and take them to yet another level. And so I think that makes them a clear cut number one.
Yeah, so I don't have much to add on the ones that we had. I don't have much to add on the ones that we kind of shared anywhere in here. But I do have a few differently and then a few in different spots. So I will go into that. Um, for 10th, I have LSU. And I say that because if it were not for their defense last season, they were probably playing for a national champion. They're probably playing a national title game this past
Mm.
year. And, we got busting us at quarterback. They got some guys out of the portal. Logan Diggs might have left, but there were other guys just as talented, if not more talented than him in that backfield. And Blake Baker from Mizzou. Like,
Yeah.
the defense is what kind of brought Mizzou to where they were at last year. I mean, the offense was great, but they've had good offenses before, but the defense being bad kept them from being a great team. And that kind of took them over the edge this past year. So that's why I have LSU at 10. It is much more about potential with the new pieces than it is that I think that they will win 10, 11, 12 games next season. Like they have, I think just like I said last year, I think LSU probably has the hot or the widest spread between their ceiling and floor possibilities of any team in the SEC. Like, could LSU go 12-0? Absolutely. Would I be shocked if they went 7-6, 8-5, or 7-5, 8-4? No, not really.
No. Yeah.
Um, Not to mention they are 60th in the country in returning production, 63% from last season, and that's with losing their Heisman winner at quarterback. So they're bringing back a lot of pieces. 9, I have Oklahoma. Another just they have their schedule is not too difficult, but I'm not necessarily projecting for who's going to be top 10 at the end of the season. They're bringing back a lot of guys. They've got some transfers in. I think Oklahoma has the talent, and I think the coaching staff under Brent Venables is the best coaching staff they've had since Stoops was still the head coach. 8. I put Florida State at 8, couple spots lower than you. the big thing is I don't necessarily trust. I think it's going to be. I think they have a lot of work to do between for the culture of what we saw at the end of last season.
Yeah.
I,
Mm.
because if you continue to build a program of transfer guys, I don't know how great you're going to do when times get tough.
I mean,
Um,
look at Michigan State. I mean, Mel Tucker was a different situation, but that's how he got the $100 million contract from basically Kenneth Walker, but he built that from the transfer portal. And he bamboozled them out of all that money, which again they didn't have to end up paying because they fired him with cause. But yeah, it's not sustainable. No.
yeah, and it really just goes to I don't trust Florida State. I
Mm-mm.
don't.
No.
Seven. We both, or I have Arizona at seven. The reason I say that is because pretty much nobody left. Like nobody that could have transferred that made a big difference on the team left. They are 43rd in the country in returning production, 70% of their offensive production, 62% on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be a great team this year. I think they have a real great chance to play in the Big 12 championship game. They just have to build on what they did last year. And yeah, they have a coaching staff, but if the program stayed and they had a good culture in the locker room last season, I don't necessarily see how that's going to get worse with just a new coaching staff.
Yeah.
Culture stays with the kids more than comes in with a coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Six. I have Mizzou at six. I believe in this team quite a bit. I was trying to pull up the returning production they're bringing back next season. Um, and I want to say it's really high up there. I've got the list in front of me.
Well,
31st.
it was
They are
really high.
31st.
I was gonna say, like, I thought it was really high this past season that we just finished up, so I wasn't sure if it was gonna be
Uh,
like high again.
yeah, Bill Connolly actually put this out this morning.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Shout out Bill for doing it just in time for us to have this conversation.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Um, but Mizzou is bringing back 79% of their offensive production last season.
Oh.
So pretty much all they lost was Cody Schrader. And 58% on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to be able to build off of that. They've got some good, not great recruiting classes stacked up. They were able to get some transfers in.
Mhm.
I like Mizzou this season. Five, Oregon. All the reasons you listed. Dan Lanning's a hell of a coach. I think you can pencil them in for 10 wins a season pretty
Mhm.
easily at minimum until things change. And even with how much we liked Bo Nix this last season, I think it's easy to say they got to upgrade a quarterback
Ooh.
from arm.
Okay.
Just talking about the arm,
Okay.
not
Okay.
overall athleticism. I think Dylan Gabriel's got a better, more accurate arm. I think he can be. I think he can put more touch on short passes. As far as a thrower of the football, Dylan Gabriel's a little bit better than Bo Nix.
Okay.
Um, four, I have Ohio State. If if you were building a team for like if you were creating a team and you were not creating Georgia, you would make Ohio State this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the pieces they have, but
Yeah,
without Ryan Day.
they are a top two roster in college football this season.
Hmm.
Here's the problem: you still have Ryan Day as your head coach. I I wouldn't trust that man to babysit a Barbie doll, let alone take care of a program. Two, and just another example of how he makes poor decisions, he hired Bill O'Brien as his offensive coordinator.
I legit think that he just hired him so he would get the blame because everybody already hates Bill O'Brien in his butt chin.
Yeah, I would people like Bill O'Brien more if his face was different? I don't know. I
Mark,
honestly don't like him because I don't think he's that great of a play caller and forget what he looks like until somebody brings up his butt chin.
can wipe his ass and blow his nose at the same time,
That's really the dream, if I'm being
right?
honest.
Yeah.
Saves so much time. It's all about efficiency.
Hmm.
Um, But outside of the transfer portal, Ohio State is 70th in the country in returning production. They lost pretty much everybody that made a difference on both sides of the ball. They're returning 61% offense and defense.
Okay. Hmm.
Not good.
Well, one of those that are missing is definitely Marvin Harrison. So well, you would
Yeah,
think that would make a difference, but they didn't win with him. So I don't know.
right. And I love Quinshon Judkins,
Mhm.
but if you're chasing the bag, are you going to play for the team?
Right.
That's the concern that I have. Same with Caleb Downs. Um, and I think they're both good players. I would have liked to have either of them on this Georgia team, but culture's different, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's much of an argument there. Um,
Yeah.
I actually have
Yeah.
Ole Miss at third. I think everything you listed, but they're able to build off of what they did last year. And good lord, I should have written these down instead of just trying to look at this list while I was doing this.
Do you
Um,
like before you get into it? I know I'm screwing up your train of thought,
no, you're
but
good.
do you think like let's say that when the AP preseason poll comes out, realistically where do you think Ole Miss would end up? Because I don't think they're going to get the respect they deserve.
They're
They
gonna be
didn't
bottom of the top 10.
like 9, 8.
I think somewhere between 7 and 9, like
Yeah.
anywhere in that range. I don't. If you, I think, I think if you were able to do like a Masked Singer thing where you didn't know who the head coach of the program was,
Hmm.
and you just saw like, oh, this is a team that won 11 games last year. This is a team that's returning. I just found it. Where to go? 71% of their offensive production. This is a team that brought in, once again, for like the fourth year in a row, the best transfer portal class.
Hmm.
We don't know who their head coach is. They'd be ranked top five.
For sure. Yeah.
But I
Not-
think so many people in the media just have this thing against Lane Kiffin because he's one of the few coaches that's willing to clap back. Like if you say something stupid, he's going to be like, you said something stupid. And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't like that.
That's fair. Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, so Ole Miss, like I said a second ago, they are 71% of returning production on the offensive side of the ball, and they focused a lot on the defensive side for the transfer portal this year. I think they're going to be even better on defense. If they keep taking small steps forward, I think this is the year that if Ole Miss is going to make a playoff, it's going to be in the 12-team playoff. It's going to be when they don't play Alabama. I don't think they play LSU. They only got one of Texas and Oklahoma.
Hmm.
They do have Georgia, but it's at home. And I
Yeah.
know Davis Wade or Vaught Hemingway isn't
Oof.
known as one of the toughest environments in college football to play in. But I think for a probably top 10 game at that point in the season, might be top five, I, I think they're going to show up.
Yeah.
So I think Ole Miss has the schedule advantage. The boogeyman's gone. If they're going to make a 12-team playoff, what they've been building on over the last few seasons is for this year.
Hmm. For sure.
Two, Texas. Everything you just said. I, there's not much to add except for the numbers of their returning production because I remember it being pretty high when I saw it a second ago. Somebody tell me to write this shit down next time because I was like, oh, it's brand new. I'll be able to find it. Spoiler, I'm not. Um, they're 25th, bringing back 70% of the overall production, 74 on offense, 66 on defense. And they did get one of the tougher SEC schedules. I believe they play. I know they play Georgia at home. I believe they get Ole Miss, um, and they get. Damn it! I'll pull it up. They do have one of the tougher schedules, but I don't think that is really going to do a whole lot because they had a tough schedule this year.
Right.
And I say they had a tough schedule this year mainly because they were without a lot of the guys on their team when they were playing the tougher games. Um, the September 7th game at Michigan is going to be real interesting.
Yeah, it is. Look forward to
Um, but out of the SEC, Texas got Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, A&M.
it. Okay.
So the SEC gifted them a schedule of three teams that have not made a bowl game since, well, Florida made one 2 years ago, Arkansas made one 2 years ago, Vanderbilt's been, what, 2013 was the last time they made a bowl game. Um, Good news for Kentucky is that they do have all year to get their team together before they play in Austin, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think Texas is going to be right up until the end of the season fighting to try and get to Atlanta for that title game.
Yeah, they definitely the SEC schedule makers did Texas favors that they did not give to Oklahoma. So
No, no.
not at all. Yeah.
Um, and then Georgia. Obviously, we're biased. You already said that, but most talented team in college football. Won two out of the last three national championships. They were 4 points from probably winning another this year.
Mhm.
I, you know, you got to beat the king to be the king, and the person that beat the king retired.
Yep.
So he gave up his crown.
Thank God.
Um, do what?
Said thank God.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm tired of early December heartbreak.
yeah, yeah. I
For
mean,
real.
you're used to getting it with the Lions, but
Yeah. But I usually outside of this year, I'm done by like Halloween. Thanksgiving at the latest.
I was about to say, 2022 season, they were fighting for a playoff spot up until that
Yeah.
second last week of the year.
No, they were playing it and up until they played Sunday night against Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers' last game. Like they Seattle had won like an hour prior.
Right.
Co-
It wasn't Aaron Rodgers' last game. Come on now. He
Well,
played three
his last
snaps.
no, well, I mean his last game in Green Bay.
Okay.
He ended his
Okay.
career with a pick. Never forget in
I
Green Bay.
mean, the Lions got karma and ended their season with one this year, so
They did. They did. It's a
just
bitch.
throwing that
Hey,
out
so
there.
happy what was it? What year? 8 years ago? 2083? Is that what it is? 7 years ago?
Let's look it up. Somebody sent it in the group chat just a minute ago.
Me, but I can't remember what it was.
6 years ago today,
That's it?
28-3. Yeah, it's 2017. Nope, that's seven. I don't math good.
Never, yeah. We golly. You know what? I when I think about how bad it was that the Lions blew a 17-point lead, at least it wasn't like 25
28.
points. With
Yeah,
yeah,
at least it
it,
wasn't
it wasn't a
25
25
points in
point.
17 minutes.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It could always be worse. Or I
Yeah.
could have Raheem Morris as my head coach. There's that.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave that where it is.
Sorry. Sorry, y'all. Not
um.
here.
So if you love our top tens, let us know. If you hate it, also let us know. Um. Because honestly, we're right and you're wrong. So
And we know it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say things if I thought I was wrong. Come on now.
right?
I don't talk out of my ass all the time.
Right,
Um.
right.
All right, Senior Bowl. So this was it was a big week for a few different Georgia players. Um, they had a great game in Mobile. Okay, I had to read this first bullet because
Oh, I promise you I did not. This is not a typo. Okay, so
okay,
I'll go for it. I'll go for it. So, like you said, the Senior Bowl was played on Saturday, and a couple damn good dogs made big impressions in Mobile. When I was looking at the recap of it, because I could not find a box score or anything like that. Um, so like MSN feed or whatever, like when I go on Microsoft Edge because I'm not allowed to use Chrome for whatever reason. But
At work.
uh, at work, yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, the MSN recap said that Joe Milton threw a 150-yard touchdown pass to Lad McConkey. I thought, holy shit, what did I miss? Like, because he didn't throw 150 yards all game. I mean, he struggled to complete a pass, but
The Joe Milton way.
yeah. But I assume Lad, if that did happen, Lad did 99.9% of that work.
It was a screen pass that Lad ended up needing to run 150 yards because nobody blocked for him.
Yeah, all purpose. Yeah, there we go. But I don't know if he ended up having any catches in the game at all, but I mean, during Senior Bowl practice, he killed it. I mean, y'all probably seen the highlights of it, him just cooking guys and all that. He was voted best wide receiver by the defense in that, so that's a big honor for him.
Just 3-star kid from North Georgia.
Yeah.
Had two Division 1 offers coming out of high school. One was UT Chattanooga. One was Georgia.
What a choice. Could you imagine having to pick between two?
Tennessee offered after Georgia did. They were like, "Oh, Georgia likes this guy. He must be good."
Mhm.
Turns out he was. He was very good.
Legendary. Yep. So on the defensive side, Tyke Smith, he had 3 pass breakups, and I think he had a couple tackles too. But again, I couldn't uh, verify that. But I know he had a few pass breakups, so that was cool. Javon Bullard was voted top defensive back by the offense at the Senior Bowl. So again, shout out to him. He had a decent game as well. And Spencer Rattler, I think he had 4 touchdown passes. No, not 4 touchdown passes. He was 4 for 4 in that game, but he did have a touchdown pass to Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. So shout out
Beautiful
to him.
catch.
It was nice. It was beautiful. I mean,
And to be fair to Spencer, if he put that ball anywhere else, it was not completed.
yeah. Hmm.
Like that was South Carolina fans should be sad that they didn't have an offensive line last season
Yeah.
because
For
what he
real.
was able to do with somebody that was able to keep him upright, that's he was doing something.
Hmm. You can see that 5-star, potential that he had, in there if he had a more talented roster. It wasn't like he was even bad at Oklahoma. He got hurt. Whatever. Caleb Williams came in to save them in the
Red
Red
River
River
Shootout.
rivalry or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he'll get drafted somewhere sometime. But Joe Milton, we talked about him a little bit before. He threw an 83-yard pick six and had a ton of bad incompletions. Like he played himself out of the draft.
So how long? How many seconds do you think it took for Tennessee fans to be like, Joe Milton threw an 83-yard pass?
They
Elite
were
arm
probably,
talent.
yeah. I think it was yeah, I mean, it was damn near, in the end zone since it was 83 yards, but I mean, it was bad. The kid that caught it, I don't know who did it or who returned it, but I think he won defensive MVP or just the MVP of the Senior Bowl. So he did that. And then Sam Hartman looked like god awful too, which was very disappointing.
It is because he's such an easy player to like.
Hmm. I think he was at one point I know he was 2 of 9. I think he got to 2 of 11 for like 18 yards, and like he got happy feet. He got his ass handed to him a few times. Just bad. That's not the same Hartman that we wanted to see this year, and Notre Dame ended up getting. So it kind of sucked.
Yeah, I almost think he should have gone somewhere that had an offensive scheme that fit him a little bit better
Hmm.
because I think it kind of brought his development back just a little
Hmm.
going to a team that ran the offense that they did.
I wonder if Ohio State would have been better off bringing him in last year versus going with Honda McCord.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Brian Day evaluating talent. There we go.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I did not get an opportunity to watch the Senior Bowl.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no, that was Saturday. I was at Fort Pulaski from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. um, and then went and got drunk. So
There we go.
zero time to watch the Senior Bowl. Um, and while I'm thinking about it, and so I can hold myself accountable, since it is Super Bowl week, we're going to throw a couple props out there at the end that we like. And probably going to ask our guest on Thursday about some Super Bowl stuff while we're at it.
Not bets
Um,
though. I don't want to get him in trouble. No.
no, it will just be hypothetical. It'll be hypothetical.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
So
not what you placed.
yeah, it'll be like
Yeah.
if if sports gambling was legal in the state that you're in, what would you do?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You gotta word it right, man. Come on
Yeah.
now. I know how to backdoor my way out of being responsible. Come on.
There we go.
Um. All right. Do you want to cover basketball real quick?
Yeah, I'll touch on it. So the wheels have fallen off.
I
Just
don't.
completely.
I
I,
look. They haven't fallen off.
it feels like it. It feels
They
like it.
look. Okay. Florida, not a bad team. Overall, more talented than Georgia. Georgia's rotating in three or four freshmen this season,
Yeah.
and they are arguably the best players on the team.
Mm.
Alabama, a ranked team, the best 3-point shooting team in the country. Kind of is what it is once they get going. South Carolina's second in the SEC right now.
Mm.
Wheels haven't fallen off. They just had a tough 3 game stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that you did have leads in all those games is disappointing. Obviously, Florida, you were down by 20 and you fought back, but the fact that they haven't put together truly like a 40-minute game in what since the Arkansas, but Arkansas is ass too. I
They
think
are. They
at
are.
this point. I mean, they were what a Final Four team what 2 years ago, but obviously the roster's changed and all that. But um, like you're saying, overtime loss to Florida, double-digit lead to Alabama that you blew. I think you're up 17-2 at one point. And then again, a couple days ago on Saturday, you had a double-digit lead against South Carolina, which a team you did beat in South Carolina a couple weeks ago, um, which was impressive. But it again, the floor has been risen. Uh, it's a lot better than what we had with Tom Crean a couple years ago, but it's just you can see they're on the cusp, but they're not quite there, and I think that's what's frustrating about it. Like I don't think this team is going to quit by any means, but it's you can't blame us for this anymore because I've tried everything. I've watched, didn't watch, didn't check the score. We've lost all of them, so it's not my fault. My hands are washed.
Yeah. Yeah. It just kind of is what it is. And if you see me laughing over here, it's because I am reading the Taylor Swift prop bets for the Super Bowl. I will read them all off at the end because they are hilarious.
Okay.
That's okay. That's it. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry to derail for a second.
No, it's all good. No, that's pretty much it's pretty much it. They're 10th in the SEC at this point. They're 14-8, 4-5 in the SEC. So, uh, probably not making, definitely not making the NCAA tournament unless they win the SEC tourney, and
I think
more
they
than
could
likely not making the NIT. I want to think
if they make a deep run in the SEC tournament, they'll probably make NIT. They do
that would be
have
that would be
uh,
electric to have a home NIT game, especially with that home atmosphere that they have at this point.
so according to the broadcast that I watched the other day. I'll be honest, I don't know how quad one wins work, but Georgia
I
has a few
That's a
quad
new
one
thing.
wins. So like they have the stats to make one of the tournaments, depending on how deep they go in the SEC tournament and how they do the last half of the season. So
Yeah.
just throwing it
Ah,
out there that it's possible.
I'll say I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Uh, so before COVID hit, when Georgia had Anthony Edwards on the team, Nick Claxton, like they had like 2 first-round picks on that team. I was dead set that like dead certain that they were going to go like on a tornado run like they did in '08. and like just win the
Well,
SEC
they
tournament
won
and
their
make a
first
run.
two games by
They
like
did.
20 points each, and it was like, oh shit, here we go.
Like Anthony Edwards, if you guys didn't watch Anthony Edwards at Georgia, dude was fucking fun. I enjoyed that. That was the
When
most I
he
got.
was on, it was very clear why he was rated as high as he was out of high school.
Mhm. Number one, I think it was. I mean, number one overall pick, and then now he's a two-time All-Star. Like he's him.
Yeah, like that. Tom Crean shit the bed with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you could have did so much more. You had two first-round picks on that team.
Yeah,
Nick Claxton's still doing well with Brooklyn or whatever. But not that we give a shit about Brooklyn, but he's been good.
I will throw this out there. One of the things that I absolutely hated about watching Tom Crean basketball teams, they did not attempt to rebound.
Yeah.
They didn't even try it. Like as soon as somebody threw a shot up, they were already on the other end of the court trying to play defense, which they
Yeah.
didn't really do.
I was gonna say the guy that I know that has like intimate knowledge of like Georgia basketball and like goes to practices and stuff. He says like the difference between like Green and White is that White actually does practice defense. Like he does defensive drills, which is something they hadn't done. So like legitimately, they didn't do. And it
In that
showed.
game against Alabama, granted they lost. I understand that. They had over 30 offensive rebounds. You want a clear
Wow.
indication that the team's turning itself around?
Mm.
They had 27 offensive rebounds in the first half.
Psh.
Like, like it is turning around. You've got a ton of talented freshmen, and you keep getting a couple guys in the portal every year. Mike White will bring this team back to respectability. It's just gonna take time.
Wait, did you say Georgia had 27 offensive rebounds in the first half?
That is what I believe I remember the broadcaster saying.
That seems off. Maybe just total rebounds. I don't know because like
Maybe
that would mean they
total.
missed. That would mean they missed a shit ton of shots.
It is still Georgia basketball.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
but we're trending in the right direction, and that's really
Yeah.
what matters when you're talking about turning a team around. When the SEC has so many good basketball teams at this point, I mean, you still have Kentucky,
Mm.
Tennessee's on its way up, Alabama's on its way up, Auburn's on its way up, South Carolina,
South Carolina.
Arkansas is dangerous every couple of years.
Mhm.
Florida makes the tournament a lot more often than they don't. Like this is a basketball conference at this point, and you're trying to turn a
Yeah.
program around in the conference. And next season, you'll have Texas and Oklahoma, and Texas makes deep runs every now and then. So
Yeah. I mean,
getting there is
arguably
going
the
to take
SEC
time.
is like you could say it's the top basketball conference as well. At least top two.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a pretty easy argument right now. But
Excuse me.
if you've ever been on any sort of large craft of any kind, whether it's car, bus, boat, plane, they don't turn on a dime. It takes a minute to turn around.
It's a good analogy. I like that.
So, you're not putting it in reverse. We're not Terry. Ain't going in reverse.
It's not a
Or
zero
are we
turn.
Terry because Terry didn't get to go in reverse?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But you're trying to turn it around, not go backwards, and it takes time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, we're gonna move on to baseball, and I know we are getting to where we're running a little long, but we do have a lot we want to cover tonight. Diamond Dogs kick off their season in less than 2 weeks against UNC Asheville with a three-game series in Athens in the recently updated Foley Field. And if you don't follow Georgia baseball or UGA baseball, whatever their social medias are, I highly recommend you do it because they made the baseball locker room look like a smaller version of the football locker room.
Dude,
They have
it's
started
nice.
putting a lot of money into the program, which is very much appreciated by fans. Um, we are working on getting an SEC baseball preview coming in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. If you're not interested, still listen because you can seem real smart to your friends that might try and say some dumb shit to you. It's always one of the
Hmm.
best things about knowing anything. Um,
Yep.
Charlie Condon was named a preseason All American by D1 Baseball. He was a consensus freshman of the year in 2023. Only going up. I really think he will. Um, I mean, he was a 6'6", 216-pound freshman last season out of Marietta. One of the best seasons in school history. Um, National Freshman of the Year. He hit a 386, 484, 800 with 25 home runs, 67 RBIs in 56 games. He broke the freshman home run record by a significant. He broke it with like 3 weeks left in the season. Um, he led all freshmen OPS, which is on base plus slugging percentage, with a 1.284, and tied for most home runs among freshmen across the entire country. And he is actually projected to be one of the first picks in the 2024 MLB draft. So hopefully in the next couple of years we can see Charlie Condon playing for the other hometown team. He'd be able to stay with
Yeah.
his parents to play for the Braves.
There we go.
Um, we're not going to talk about hockey tonight. Um, I'll be honest, I just didn't have time to look anything up while we were talking. So not prepared. Had a real busy weekend. And I didn't get home from work until 6 o'clock. So sue me. Um, I do want to talk about some Super Bowl bets. We're going to go over the Taylor Swift bets first. Did you know
Okay.
there are currently more Taylor Swift prop bets than there are national anthem prop bets?
I can believe that. Yeah.
First one, Taylor Swift hairstyle.
Oh wow.
Taylor Swift hair down is at minus 300. So if you think she's going to have an updo, those plus 200 odds look real good. Um, Lipstick color. Red is at minus 1,000. Any other color plus 400.
Comes there, it's black. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Probably the funniest one. Taylor Swift to show cleavage. Cleavage. No is minus 300 odds.
Okay. Okay.
Um. Oh, for some reason this is in with the Taylor Swift prop bets. Jason Kelsey to be shirtless during the game.
Oh, I hope. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
So
He's
here's the problem. They made the bet to where you can't win. So it says Jason Kelsey chest covered entire game minus 175. So he either has to have a shirt on the whole game or a shirt off the whole game, or you don't win money.
oh, that's whack.
Yeah,
Whack.
yeah. Um, Here's the best one by far. Number of times Taylor Swift shown on Super Bowl 58 broadcast. There's only one option. Too many times.
Is that really?
I swear to God. Too many times. Minus 1,000 odds.
Who is that through? Is that through my bookie?
Yeah, it's my bookie.
Okay, that's funny. Too many.
Yeah, too many times is the only option. Um, yeah. And then there's like, does she. Oh, Taylor Swift to become pregnant in 2024 is for some reason in the Super Bowl prop bets. Taylor Swift to write a song about Travis Kelsey in 2024 is in the
Well,
prop
yeah.
bets.
Oh,
But
that
must mention
hammer
him
by name.
directly.
Oh, it can't be just like, oh, Chiefs, tight end, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, as always, we're going to talk about national anthem props. It's one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl.
Who's
Um,
singing it?
Reba McEntire.
Okay. All right.
Over
Hmm.
unders 87 and a half seconds. Last year it was 73 and a half.
Well, that was Stapleton, right? No.
Yes.
Was it okay?
And there's no way you can convince me that Chris Stapleton did not know what the over under was because he hit it on the dot. I timed it. It was exactly 73 and a half seconds. Still upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I
Man.
know a guy that grew up with Chris Stapleton. I am so tempted to text him about it. A year later. Be like, if you'd
Yeah.
hold
What's
that
this?
last note for just another second.
Yeah. What's the statute of limitations on that?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good. Hmm.
Um, they have a prop bet of length of the word brave over or under 3.5 seconds. I think that's an easy under.
Over. Oh. Ooh. Over. Over.
Here's the thing: a lot of people aren't going to like when I say this out loud. Reba's old.
Uh, Yeah, but hmm.
Just,
I
just
don't know.
don't.
I haven't heard her sing live in a while, so I don't know. That's a good point.
Um, throwing Taylor Swift back in there because it's just hilarious. It's just so comical. Shown first during national anthem, Taylor Swift or Jason Kelsey?
I mean, it's got to be Taylor, right?
It's
Got to
gotta
be.
be.
Because what channel is it on Fox or CBS?
I have no idea.
Not, I mean, not that it probably makes a whole lot of difference, but they're
Um,
gonna get their money's worth. They paid for the Super Bowl. They paid for Taylor Swift to be there. They're gonna get her on there plenty of times, I'm sure.
correct. Over under 4.5 planes in the flyover. It's in Vegas, so they're
In
in
a
a
in a dome.
stadium, like they're in an arena.
They're in a dome.
Yeah, it's
Fly
got to be
over in a dome
thunder,
is always
right?
interesting. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, four and a half.
Um, and then
Four
one
is a
they didn't
lot.
have last year that I think is interesting. Any scoring drive to take less time than the national anthem. I would say
Oh,
no.
yeah, no, no, not so like under, let's say conservatively like 90, what,
I
a
think a
minute.
90-second drive against either of these defenses is a busted coverage.
Yeah, which I mean for San Francisco can definitely do that. They could definitely do that.
It's fair.
I don't know about Kansas City, but San Francisco could do that.
That is fair. So we are going to cut. We're going to cut this a little bit short because we did quite literally just get some breaking news thanks to my wife.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Oh.
Big Dog Woods passed away today.
Oh fuck, dude.
Literally, it was posted less than an hour ago.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, had the opportunity to meet him a couple times at games and tailgates and stuff like that. It is absolutely awful. So you know,
Shit.
whatever you're drinking right now, raise your glass to Big Dog. His family's been doing this exact same thing for 3 generations. Always will be a damn good dog, and I hope I hope his kids are able to carry on the tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
That's awful. Um, so thoughts and prayers for his family. You know, whatever. If you're not religious, send good vibes. Whatever your thing is. I mean, his family's been part of Dog Nation for literally 50 or more. I mean, since the Vince Dooley days.
Mhm.
Um, so you know, sending all the love out to the Woods family. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah. Damn. R.I.P. man.
Yeah. Um, and kind of a segue off of that, we're gonna do a more serious pickers pissed off this week.
Okay.
And actually, it I was gonna do something entirely different on my way home from work. It was late. I had a long day. I was cold and wet. Didn't have time to stop for lunch, so I'd literally gone all day without eating until 6 o'clock. Wasn't in a good mood. And I saw something that made me really question why the hell people are not better to each other. I saw somebody getting a road rage, like two these two cars almost they stopped in the middle of President Street in Savannah, got out and acted like they were fighting, and one of them was a hearse.
Wait, really?
Yes, an active hearse.
Like they're in like procession, like
No, 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 no. Like
oh,
I,
okay.
I couldn't tell if there was anything in the back of it, but it was
Oh,
like a legit hearse. Got into a road rage altercation with somebody, and they stopped in the middle of President Street and got out of the car.
oh wow.
So what pisses me off this week? People just be nicer to each other. Like
Mhm.
everybody's got something going on. Like there's no reason to be an asshole.
Mhm. And you never know if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person. People, yeah, people are nuts.
Yeah, just
You never know.
uh, be nice to each other. You never know what's going on in somebody else's life. You never know what they're dealing with at the moment. You never know how they're going to react to whatever you do. So just wake up every day and try to be a good person. And while you're at it, do something for yourself. Because I know most of our listeners are men. Men don't often do things for themselves. We kind of just wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, do that shit all over again. Do something for yourself this week, whether it's taking an extra lap around the block in your car on your way home from work and listening to music, whatever it is. Sit in the bath, watch some Netflix, drink a beer, drink some whiskey, whatever you do. Taking a bath, it's not feminine. I do that shit all the time. Do something for yourself this week. Be nice to other people. I think we're just gonna close it out with that. So,
Sounds good.
as always, guys, remember there is nothing finer in the land.
Then a drunk obnoxious Georgia fan.